Hi Virgo, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of September. The month of August was very hectic and chaotic. A lot of strong Uranian energy. Jupiter, which is the grand benefic, re-entered the fixed air sign of Aquarius on July 28th, and it will be there until December 29th of this year. And that in itself expanded a lot of the brilliance and chaos that is Aquarius. Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius, and that's what I associate most Aquarian energy to be like, or that I associate it with. Saturn is the modern ruler, ancient ruler rather, and Uranus is the modern ruler, and the brilliance and the uncertainty is more Uranian and Aquarian. And then the Sun, Mercury, and Venus were all transiting in the fixed fire sign of Leo in your 12th house of spirituality and dreams, and they all squared Uranus throughout the month, bringing more unexpected news and disruption. And then Uranus, the planet of brilliance and unpredictability, stationed retrograde on August 19th at 14 degrees and 47 minutes of the fixed earth sign of Taurus. And you felt that energy 5 days before and 5 days after. And that also, that really can pronounce the chaos and the instability that we've all been feeling. So that was a lot of Uranian energy in 1 month. And I remember when I was doing the horoscopes before the month of August thinking, this would be quite a month, and it has been. And so as we begin September, a lot of us are shaking off that energy, and the Sun and Mars are both transiting in your sign. It's your birthday season, and the Sun shines wherever it's transiting, giving new opportunities for self-improvement and new beginnings. Mars takes approximately 2 years to transit, and you have it in your sign until September 14th. So it's a good opportunity for you for getting things done. You'll be very busy. And then Mercury and Venus are both transiting in the cardinal air sign of Libra, in your house of money and income and what you value. And Mercury will retrograde at the end of the month, and Mercury is the ruler of your sign. It will retrograde at 25 degrees of Libra, and it will station direct on October 18th at 10 degrees of Libra. And this gives you an opportunity to analyze and reassess how you can be more productive with your finances, how you can earn more money, how you can be creative, and how you can add more value to your life. So on September 2nd, Mars opposes Neptune at 1:43 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and Mars is transiting in your sign. You might feel tired or drained. Maybe there's some confusion with other people as Neptune is transiting in Pisces in your house of relationships, so kind of laying low if you're able that day. On September 4th, Mercury, which is transiting in Libra, forms a very nice trine to Saturn in Aquarius, and this occurs at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could be really good for work and financial opportunities for you, and it's very good for clear, structured communication. On September 5th, that's more of a volatile day. Venus will square Pluto at 11:07 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could bring challenges with relationships. Maybe there are breakups or power struggles, definitely more difficult around partnerships. Venus does love being in Libra, but it doesn't like squaring Pluto, so that's a little bit of a tough energy for all of us. And then on September 6th, that it's a really good day and one you should circle in your calendar. It's a new moon, and it's a new moon in your sign, so it's your annual new moon. Mars forms a beautiful trine to Uranus at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could be very good for you for taking innovative action, for getting things accomplished and focusing on manifesting work or promoting yourself. Then Venus trines Jupiter at 9:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and those are the two lucky planets of the zodiac, and that could bring a lot of romantic and financial opportunity for you. Venus is transiting in your house of income, so definitely great for money, but for love, whatever you want, it's your new moon, so it's a really nice energy. And the new moon itself takes place at 8:52 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 14 degrees and 28 minutes of the mutable earth sign of Virgo, so your sign. And definitely do the law of abundance, set your intentions, manifest, clear the space. This is a really good new moon. And later that day, the sun trines Uranus at 9:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that lends more innovation and opportunities regarding this new moon. So that's a really good day. On September 7th, Mercury forms an opposition to Chiron, the wounded healer, and that takes place at 11:07 p.m. at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on September 8th at 2:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that could bring up painful issues, but it's a good opportunity for doing some healing work. It's good for facing your wounds. It's also good for if there are painful issues around finances, that's hitting those areas of your life. So good day to focus on that. And then on September 10th, Venus changes signs and enters the fixed water sign of Scorpio, where it will be until October 7th. And it's transiting in your third house of networking locally, sales, commerce, your local neighborhood. It's great for communication if you're trying to pitch ideas or get involved locally in your environment. This is a great opportunity with Venus transiting there. It's also good for reframing your thoughts, because Venus will bring more positive energy, and we all need that right now. Even though Venus is in Scorpio, which is technically in its detriment, it's still transiting in your house of thoughts and ideas, and so that could bring passion as you rebuild and transform yourself. And then on September 14th, the sun opposes Neptune at 5:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could be very draining for you. It could bring confusion or deception in partnerships, or just misunderstandings and feeling really just tired, so it's not the easiest energy. And then Mars leaves your sign at 8:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it enters the cardinal air sign of Libra, where it will be until October 30th. So Mars will be transiting in your house of income and what you value. Mercury is going to retrograde there later in the month, so a lot of focus on your money and income, and Mars is a good opportunity for making more money and bringing it in. You can spend a lot of money with that, but focus on bringing it in. And then on September 16th, the sun forms a beautiful trine to Pluto at 9:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that for you, the sun is in your sign in harmony with Pluto, the planet of empowerment, and that is a very helpful cycle for digging into finding ways to heal and empower yourself, and also to find what makes you happy. Pluto's transiting in your house of love and creativity. Will be there for a few more years, but really how you can work with that in a positive way. And then later at 11:15 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on September 17th at 2:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Venus forms a square to Saturn, and that's a reality check for all of us, and for you it's regarding how you think, how you work, your habits, trying to be positive, trying to purge the negativity. But it is a reality check of what's working and what's not, which we all have to face. And then on September 20th, there's a full moon that day. The moon meets up with Neptune in Pisces at 7:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that can be very emotional and sensitive. It is very psychic and intuitive energy. Then Mercury forms a beautiful trine to Jupiter, and that helps to bring enthusiasm and hope in an emotional full moon, and that occurs at 6:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then the full moon occurs at 7:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 24 degrees and 18 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. Now, this full moon occurs in your house of relationships. So some relationships may take another form. Maybe you're getting more serious. Some could potentially end. 28 degrees, it's almost the final degree of Pisces, and that's connected to the fixed star known as Shiat, which is associated or connected with misfortune and loss and sorrow. So it's it's a heavy emotional full moon, and figuring out how you can tap into Mercury in harmony with Jupiter, finding light in the darkness, hope in a very sad time of loss. And, again, Neptune's in your opposite house, figuring out how you don't lose yourself in this time and can still tap into hope. And then the equinox occurs on September 22nd. On that day, Mercury squares Pluto at 9:12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that can bring power struggles with communication and could potentially bring endings and change. Certainly, eliminating things that are not working. And then the equinox occurs at 3:21 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The sun crosses the celestial equator, and it is approximately the same amount of time, day and night, equal day and equal night. And in the northern hemisphere, the sun is heading south. It's the beginning of the fall equinox, the fall season. And in the southern hemisphere, the sun is heading north, and it is the beginning of the spring season. And so we honor what the chart is, what the next few months has in store. And the sun, the chart has Capricorn ascendant, with it being approximately at 14 degrees of Capricorn, and that speaks back to when Saturn stationed direct in September of 2019. It did so at 13 degrees of Capricorn, reminding us all what we've been dealing with for quite a while. And the moon is in Libra that day, a lot of cardinal energy. The moon will be at 21 degrees of Libra, and that's just a degree from where Saturn and Pluto met up on January 12th of 2020, and that brought down the structures of our lives. They met up at 22 degrees cardinal, 22 degrees of Capricorn. And so the moon is just a degree off from that, again reminding us how we can have the courage, moon in Aries, to keep fighting. That's it's what we have to do. And the full moon in an equinox, kind of intense right near the equinox, but it begins Libra season, and the sun will be transiting in the cardinal air sign of Libra until October 22nd, and it's transiting in your house of money and income, bringing light to that area of your life. And that's where Mars is also transiting until the end of October, so a lot of focus on your finances. And then on October 23rd, Venus opposes Uranus at 5:41 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could bring unexpected communication for you. Maybe it's good, maybe you hear from somebody out of the blue. Maybe it's a little more challenging. Whatever it is, there'll definitely be some excitement in the sky. And then on September 25th, Mars trines Saturn at 5:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is a really good energy for getting things accomplished, for focusing on things of value to you, on your money, on your relationships, but it's a good energy. And then on September 26th, Mercury stations retrograde at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 25 degrees of the cardinal air sign of Libra. And this takes back to the Venus retrograde story from 2018. Every 8 years, Venus retrogrades at approximately 10 degrees of Scorpio and stations direct at a late degree of Libra, generally around 25 degrees of Libra. Well, Mercury is retrograding exactly where Venus stationed direct on November 17th of 2018. And this gives you an opportunity to reassess what you were trying to create in your life at that time. There was a Venus-Sun conjunction on October 26th. There was an inferior conjunction. I think it was at 3 degrees or definitely 4 degrees of Scorpio. Looking back, what you want to change or what you want to focus on, maybe you gave up on that dream. If anything, the last year and a half has taught all of us is maybe to go for your dreams in this time. So this Mercury retrograde, I think, will be enlightening. And again, it occurs at 10:10 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on September 26th, and at 1:10 a.m. on September 27th. And Mercury will be retrograde until October 18th, when it stations direct at 10 degrees of Libra, and it leaves Scorpio altogether on November 6th, and then it will enter your house of communication and networking and marketing. So right now, a lot of focus again on what's of value to you. On September 29th, Venus squares Jupiter, and September 29th, Venus trines Neptune at 12:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, and that is good for you for your relationships. Neptune's transiting in your 7th house of partnerships, very romantic and creative energy. And then on September 30th, Venus squares Jupiter at 7:31 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And I don't think that'll be a difficult energy. I think those are the two benefics. They're squaring each other. It can be a bit excessive, but it could also be fun. And for you, probably very social. Venus is transiting in your house of local environment. So I wish you a lot of luck, Virgo. Thank you very much, and hope September is more of a grounding month for you. Take care.